Okay, part two of our study of Ackerman angle using Onshape here. I'm back in my drawing. Let me just, in case you couldn't find it, if you're, just launched Onshape, if you go to either created by me, it should show up, or if you go to documents, go to my Onshape, go to documents, and you should see, last opened or something up in here. There should be your file. So go ahead and double click on that and it will bring you into the workspace. Now in order to make changes, we're going to have to edit the sketch. So you can click on this and right click and hit edit, and that will allow us to go back in here and do a little bit of work. If you remember, the N will bring us normal to. Looking straight on our sketch. If you hit the N button, you can also use the block over here to zoom around and get yourself oriented in the right way. I'm going to just grab one of these wheels and just make sure everything was working like I thought. I'm going to go back in, grab my line tool, and just throw in a construction line just to represent that, that line, which is the Ackerman line. Right, so I'm just going to put that there temporarily, or not, or permanently rather, just to show us that when when the car is going straight, those steering arms, the way we came up with that 107 angle was through this line. This is our Ackerman line, and it's established by going from the rear of the wheel all the way through our kingpin here. Now, I want to play around a little bit and see what we come up with. So what would happen if we set this inner angle in here to something, and then let's measure what its corresponding angle would be on this side, right? So I'm going to go ahead and set this angle. I'm going to click on this little axle here and click on my cross piece, and let's just set it to 130 degrees. Now, we remember from geometry class that if this is 130 degrees, then, and these two lines were parallel to each other, then this should also be 130 degrees. But we're going to find out that it's not, because these things do not stay parallel to each other. We don't want them to. So what angle would this be taking if that's the case? So I'm going to grab my dimension tool. This is already fixed because of the relationship here, but I just want to see what it would be. So it's probably going to make it gray if it even puts it on there for me. Dimension from here to here, and hit enter. So you can see that's a great angle because that one's determined by this, right? So that's being driven by that. This is a much larger angle, which makes sense because this wheel is taking a larger arc around the corner. All right. As we get closer, if I can do this, let me see, I'm going to hit the escape button. Let's see what happens if I change this to 100. Will it let me do it? Yeah, and you'll notice that wasn't what I wanted to do. That's pretty, you're going to flip the car if we do that turn. Let's say it's 150. All right, and notice that this, as we get closer to being straight, the difference between these two angles gets less and less. Right, let's bump it up to 170. All right, and notice that this is just a little bit different based on the turn that we're making. And as we get, really close, let's call it 179, we're almost driving straight, this angle is only a fraction off. So the more we turn, the greater the turn. Let's bring this back down to like 120. This angle is significantly different. If we change the width of our car, all of this is going to change because it would also change this. If we change the length of our car, it's going to change this angle as well, which is going to change the relationship between these two wheels. Right? So let's set this to something a little more reasonable, maybe 150. All right. and you can see what we have here for angles. This is the difference between the angles. I want you to label all these parts as a review for your understanding of steering geometry and parts. So let me show you how to do that. What we're going to do is if we come down here and we hit this little plus button here. All right, sorry about that. I'm going to need to temporarily move my window and hit the plus button. And I'm going to create a drawing. Okay, this is what I want you to do. You can just hit OK to that. I'm going to resize this to be full size again. And the thing that's going to pop up is the sketch that we just made, and that's what I want you to put in here. Go ahead and put your sketch in here. Now we could probably change the, can we change the scale of that? If we click on that, let's see if we can make it, instead of 1 to 20, can we make it 1 to 10? Yeah, that looks a little better. All right. So now let's go ahead and start to identify some of these parts. How would I go about doing that? And I want you to identify each of the items that so I'm going to grab this note and I'm going to put a note here. I'm not going to tell you what it is, and I'm just going to leave a blank space for you. And then I'm going to right click on this note and add a leader, and I'm going to point to this. So what is this thing right here? All right, then I want you to, on your sheet, I'm going to again not give away the answers, just going to put a blank spot in there, but I want you to type in, I'm going to put add a leader, and I want you to tell me what this thing is. All right, and I'm going to keep rolling here for a bit. What's missing here, I need to draw this line. Can I draw a line in here? Yeah, I'm going to draw a line from here to here. What is that line? All right, so we're going to put a little note on that. Actually, if I click on it, will that, oh, I didn't even know that. So if you click on it first, you don't have to add the leader. Why did that happen? Try that one more time. Here we go. So I want to know what that is. I want to know what that is. I want to know what that is. I need to know what this guy is right here. What's this little short one? All right. And what is this? All right, so this is all going to be done in Onshape. Make sure that you've been logged on to the Region 18. I'm going to remind everybody that right away. So that your document, it's going to be your last name, Ackerman Angle. You're going to have a drawing, and your drawing is going to have all of these parts named, right? And it's also going to have your sketch over here. Oops. Should be able to click back to that. Let me hit escape. Oh, my part studio, I'm sorry. And I'm going to be able to go into your drawing. I'm going to try to edit your drawing and make sure that your wheels are functioning the way they're supposed to. I'm also going to check your relationship here, make sure you have that done. So what did we do here? We learned a little bit about the names of the steering geometry. We learned a little bit about Onshape, and hopefully you have a little bit better understanding of Ackerman angle.